This story may sound like a deja vu to you, like the same old repeating itself, but each time a heavy price is paid. Death in the skies of the land of Mount Everest. There has been another air crash in Nepal, the second in the matter of just 6 months. A chopper went down earlier this morning in Nepal. There were 6 people on board. All of them died. 5 of the deceased were tourists, international tourists. They were from Mexico and they died some 14,000 kilometers away from home. All because Nepal's civil aviation just will not get its act together. And because safety seems too tall an ask in Nepal. The chopper that crashed, by the way, was run by a company called Manang Air. It had picked up the tourists from Surkhe Airport. This is where it is located. Let's tell you with the help of a map. Surkhe is near the point from where most Mount Everest expeditions start. The Mexican tourists had visited this point and they were returning to Kathmandu. The chopper departed at 10:04 a.m. local time. At 10:13, it stopped communicating with the air traffic control. No one knew where the helicopter had flown. It was missing. And a couple of hours later, the chopper's wreckage was spotted somewhere here, in a place called Lamjura. It is located in Nepal's Solukhumbu district. Lamjura is a mountainous area, like much of Nepal. And locals say they heard a loud explosion, and soon there was a fire. On approaching the site, the locals realized that a chopper had crashed. I wonder if they were even surprised, because air crashes like these have become so normal in Nepal, unfortunately. On the 15th of January, a Yeti Airlines plane crashed while landing at Pokhara. There were 72 people on board. All of them lost their lives. It is the 11th of July, and Nepal's Prime Minister is once again expressing his grief over yet another air crash. Once again, an investigation has been ordered. It's a drill far too familiar, and this is exactly how the story plays out every single time. There is an air crash, people lose their lives, and the government expresses its grief. A probe is ordered, and then there is another air crash. This deja vu, this loop will just not stop. Some of you may be wondering why. The rest of you who watch this show regularly already know the answer. Nepal's skies are the world's most dangerous, and the blame, by the way, does not go to the country's topography or the weather alone. You see, the culprit here is also indifference, the criminal lack of accountability. The government of Nepal appears to have entered a rather cozy relationship with the airlines, where it overlooks loopholes as long as the airlines manage to fly tourists to popular destinations, like Pokhara, where the Yeti airline crashed, or near the Everest, where this chopper went down. The government is concerned about the tourism revenue and the economy. Our reporter in Nepal tells us that a visit by a single tourist creates 10 employment opportunities in Nepal. But what about the safety of that tourist? The one creating that employment opportunity and bringing in those dollars. The government seems to have decided to risk their safety. How else do you explain the repeated plane crashes in Nepal? Sure, the topography is tough, but what's stopping Nepal from training its pilots in navigating the hurdles safely? Or for that matter, updating its fleet? A lot of the aircraft operating in Nepal are ancient. They don't even have modern radar. Sure, the weather is unpredictable, but what's stopping Nepal from ensuring that the air traffic control is equipped with up-to-date weather forecast? You know, if there is low visibility, then halt flight and chopper services till the skies clear up. But this is too much to ask of Nepal, where the Civil Aviation Authority is also an aviation service provider. You heard that right, CAAN, CAN. is the epitome of conflict of interest. It runs two international airports, the one in Kathmandu and the one in Bhairahava. As a service provider, it is responsible for ensuring safe operations in the airport, and as a civil aviation authority, it is also the body that is supposed to pull up airports in case that safety is compromised. And this irony is deadly and has been deadly. Nepal has seen 69 air mishaps since 1955. That's 69 accidents in 68 years, almost one every year. There have been 2 in 2023 already, and we are just halfway through the year. And what do these numbers and these incidents really mean for you? What does this story tell you? If you love traveling, should Nepal ever be on your bucket list? 1.2 million foreign tourists visited Nepal in the year 2019. In 2022, when the world slowly started recovering from the Wuhan virus, over 600,000 international tourists traveled to Nepal. And this year, the number is expected to jump substantially. You see, Nepal is leveraging the post-pandemic revenge travel and people's renewed realization of how unexpected life is. Look around you. There is a renewed energy to travel. Explore the world before it's time to leave it. Nepal is home to the world's highest peak, the Mount Everest. There are many who want to climb it. There are some who would at least like a glimpse of it. And so they head to Nepal. And this year, Nepal has issued 454 permits for climbing the Everest in spring alone. It does not care that 11 people died in 2019 because of overpopulation at the Everest, or about congestion and jams on the way to the summit. Money is what it wants, clearly. Money from the climbers, from the globetrotters. But tell me one thing, is your life worth so little that you are willingly risking it by flying in Nepal's dangerous skies? Nepal is always a mayday away from another air disaster. The government has clearly made up its mind to look the other way. And now it's your turn to decide whether or not you want to be one of Nepal's many victims. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.